for our next section, we're going to be working on pulling this cutout into our composite illustration, and that's pretty straightforward. So if we go to the climbing ropes file, you can see that it's a pretty standard image with a nice clean background behind it. So in this case, the way we're going to create that cutout is by beginning with the magic wand tool. So I'm going to set my tolerance at 10. I'm going to make sure it's anti-aliased, and in this case I'm going to make sure it's contiguous. All right, so what I'm going to do is sample like the left half, then I'm going to hold the shift key down and add to my selection on the right half, and then these three main interior volumes. So once I have those selected, I can go back to my select and mask options. So you can see right off the bat that something isn't looking right, and that's because we used our magic wand to select the background instead of the foreground. But that's not a problem, because one of the first things we can do is come down here and invert the selection. Okay, and then we go back to working through this menu top to bottom. So I think because we're going to be moving this onto a more or less dark background, I think previewing it on black is fine, and our opacity at 100. This is pretty clear and clean so far, so we might not have to do too much of it. You can see that there are a few little highlights around here that we might want to get rid of. So I'm just going to add a little bit of a smart radius to maybe 2 pixels to that. And then I'm going to shift my edge in about 10% and see if that cleans that up. Maybe I'll do it a little bit more, say like 25%, and that pretty much gets rid of those guys. So when I've got this preview looking like I want it to, and I'm not going to worry about this tiny little space up here, I'm going to go down to my output settings and go to New Layer and hit OK. And then you can see that this has given us our cutout on a new layer. It's left our original image untouched and turned it off. And now all we have to do is do a select all copy, Command A, Command C, go to our composite image here and do a Command V to paste it. And then we'll go to our move tool up here and move this over to the right of the composition. And this time we're going to apply another layer effect, but we're going to do an outer glow. So if we double click again on the layer, we'll come down here to outer glow. And again, I'm not looking for specific settings. I'm basically looking to see that you've successfully applied an outer glow. We don't want it to be too hokey, so we'll maybe make it a little bit smaller and a little fainter, and we'll just play around with this until we get it somewhere where we like it. Once we get it there, we just hit OK, and there we go. So now we have our outer glow applied to our sort of rope and carabiner layer. So that's it. That's pretty much straightforward. The last thing we have to do for this assignment is add type to it and then colorize it. So that's going to be the next thing we do. So sit tight and we'll go over that one too.